Check, check, check. Want me to come up higher? Or we straight? It's gonna be so strange talking to no one. Well, I'm talking to everyone here, but then I look around. I'm like, oh, you know what? It's just me. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, this one here. Oh, come on, man. Let's go.
Where else you want to go? Won't nobody do it like us, bro. Oh my
You think I'm playing okay out high fighters right now, man.
We beat the brakes off y'all. Whoop that trip.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, Game Day Live. I am your host today, Rife Dolo. My guy Jesse Holly's not here, but that's all good. That's all good. We'll hold it down. Skywalker still. A to Z Sports. Cowboys, Washington. Ooh, I'm fired up. I'm fired up. I'm fired up, man. The music getting me pumped a little bit, not gonna lie to you. You got Nick in the background, hype. You know, I know Cowboys Nation in the chat is hype. If y'all watch the show all week, you know we're fired up. Friday, we ended that show the week with an amazing show. The energy was there. I just hope the Cowboys bring that same energy, man. Once again, welcome to Cowboy Game Day Live at Revolver Brewery, Texas Live. We in the building. We're in the building. Cowboys Nation. I used to live up there in the Northeast. Been to that terrible FedEx Field a number of times. It's so terrible the Cowboys had to bring in their own bleachers. So here's the story about that. And before we get into the inactives and things like that, if you haven't heard, go check it out. The Cowboys team flew in some bleachers from Cleveland so that they can have some heated seats and things like that because Seattle told them that they weren't working. And it's fitting. You have a trash field for a trash franchise that has a trash owner. It's just fitting, right? That they would have bleachers that don't work, that they would have sewage that drips down, their feces just dripping down onto their crappy stadium. It just makes sense. But I hope the Cowboys go down there and they bring a little bit of class and they whoop some ass. Let's go, baby! What's up, chat? How y'all doing, man? I hope y'all are fired up. I see we got YouTube in the building. We got Facebook in the building. And let's go ahead. Look, Cash said that stadium is trash. It's horrible. It's absolutely terrible. But let's get to some game day catch-ups. And first, we'll start with some inactives. So give me a second. Let me go find these inactives here. I have them up. Come on with it. Here we go. All right, so Cowboys inactives, Will Greer, Tony Pollard. We'll get back to that. Israel Mukwamu, Azor Kamara, Matt Fournier, wide receiver Semi Fehoko, and tight end Sean McKeon. We'll also get into that as well. So over on the Washington side, the only inactive that really matters is J.D. McKissick, the running back, who is their second leading wide receiver. So that's something to look forward or keep your ears and eyes open to later in the game when it's only Gibson getting the rock for the most part. But Jamin Davis will be playing. Landon Collins will be playing. And I believe Brandon Scherf, their guard, Pro Bowl guard, who's banged up, will also be playing. However, they will be without their top 4 pass rushers. And the reason why they're not listed on the inactives is because they're out either to IR or COVID. They lost their 3, I think it was their one, not their second, their second, third, and fourth pass rushers to COVID. So they're all out right now. Dallas should have the advantage on the edges, and I hope they attack the edges. But we'll see. Let me get into the chat, though. I did see Fresh said, whoop that trick. You already know, bro. You already know. He also said, crowd the line, force Heineke to throw, blitz the life out of him. Yeah, we're going to get to, and we'll talk about what we talked about on Friday, some of the keys to the games, right? Keys to the games. Y'all know, for all those who tune in on the weekday show, you guys know what they are, but we'll reiterate them for those who did not show up on Friday. But for the Cowboys, some more game day catch-up. So we do have Randy Gregory, Neville Gallimore, both active today for the first time all year. And for the first time all year, you get those two guys with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. Also, Darian Thompson has been called up today. Relax, guys. Relax. He's called up mostly for special teams, so he'll be in the building. Tight end Ian Bunting. So that's why Sean McKeon is ruled out today. Tight end Ian Bunting. He's a big kid, about 6'6", tight end, rookie, undrafted free agent. How you doing, Cowboys Nation? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They in the building, baby. We in the building. Let's be loud today, right? Let's get it. I love it. But Ian Bunting will be called up today. And running back Jaquan Hardy, who was the, a hard knock sensation. He had the Eric Dickerson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggle thing going on. He had these things going on. He said he couldn't see and things like that. But Jaquan Hardy will be getting the call up to sub in for Tony Pollard. Now, before everyone gets kind of – and it's discouraging that Tony's not going to play, but we kind of prepped that, right? We knew, if towards plantar fasciitis, he wasn't really going to play. And I think they knew that coming into this game well before Sunday. But, McCarthy tries his best, his darndest, to keep things close to the vest. With that said, there's more than enough firepower, ladies and gentlemen. More than enough firepower. Even with a one-legged hobbled Ezekiel Elliott, there's more than enough firepower for this Cowboys offense to get off on this Washington district football politician people. There's more than enough. More than enough. For the first time since the Falcons game, the Cowboys will have Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and C.D. Lamb at wide receiver, hopefully healthy throughout the entire evening, throughout the entire day. The last time that happened against Atlanta, Cowboys put up 46. I am just saying. And the only other times that they played together, they never finished the game, right? And that was in week 1, where you had Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, and then Gallup went out at halftime, never came back. And then the game in New Orleans, it was the first game back from Amari Cooper having COVID, so he didn't really play much, about 20 or 25 snaps. Now we're full go, including Cedric Wilson, by the way, y'all. said is back as well. So there's really no excuses in my opinion. No excuses. For those that are kind of just rolling in here right now, Jesse's not with us today. He's handling some things, but Jesse, I'm pretty sure will be back next week. So we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. So everything is cool here. We'll keep you guys in tune. It'll be myself, my guy Nick's over here too. You'll probably see him running back and forth via, halftime, post game. You see he's back there. It's us here rocking out here at Revolver Brewery, Texas Live. Most people are inside right now. It's a little bit nip tuck out here. But we're going to continue to bring the heat nonetheless. So I see Frank is talking about, I thought Corey Clement was a third running back. Well, let's talk about that, okay? Let's talk about the banged-up running backs. We just said that Tony Pollard will be out. You're absolutely right, Frank. Corey Clement is likely going to be the second guy stepping up to spell Ezekiel Elliott. With that said, he's mostly a special teamer. He's mostly throw it out the backfield type of guy. I think what you'll see today, and I could be wrong, y'all can let me know at halftime, we'll see. When they do decide to spell Zeke, they will do so with Jaquan Hardy. When they decide to spell him to run the ball, they'll do so with Jaquan Hardy. And Clement will come in on some third downs if Zeke can't be in there, and he'll play special teams. He'll continue to play special teams. I do think, though, Zeke, I get it, you're on one leg. I personally wanted you to sit out. Obviously, you can't do that with Tony Pollard out. It's time to show your worth, right? Like, I'm not saying you hadn't shown your worth or anything like that, but the receivers are here. Dak is here. Your offensive line hopefully is intact. We'll talk about that a little bit too. I need Zeke. This got to be a game where you step up. I don't need you to run for 150, although I love it. I'd love to see it. I just need you to be that efficient Ezekiel Elliott, and not just Zeke. I won't put it all on him. I'll put some on the offensive line. I'll put some on Kellen Moore, right? I'll put some on Dak because Dak has to kind of get them in the right calls too, in and out of the right calls. But I do need my $90 million running back to step up today without Tony Pollard to take off some of that load. So I'm going to put a little pressure on Zeke today, y'all. A little bit of pressure on him. Lissay says feed Zeke. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Once again, I'm definitely want to shout out everybody that's in the chat. Usually during the show, during the week, I go through and I name everyone. But game day, we got to kind of be quick with it because the game starts here in a half hour. So, hey, real quick, appreciate you guys. And those that are still trickling in. Jesse is handling some things. It's just Sky today, me, myself, and my man Nick. We'll be holding it down for the show today. But, hey, it's all good. We'll hold it down as we usually do. Also, what came out of the Cowboys news and surrounding this game this week, we talked about this on the show this week, the war of words between Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera. And really, if I think about it now, it's more so Ron Rivera talking to his damn self. I mean, I'm just keeping it a bit. Mike McCarthy didn't say anything to rile up the Washingtons or even his own team. I think Mike was just being Mike. He just happens to be in a city like Dallas where every word is turned into a massive headline, right? But God dang it, I don't care. He said what he needed to say. And if you guys, for those who did not see it, let me find the tweet for you here. Let me find the tweet. Mike McCarthy came out yesterday or Wednesday, I think it was, and said, we're going to win the game. I'm confident in that. Believe that could be bulletin board material. Gelkin asked Mike McCarthy. He said, what am I supposed to say? I fully expect to win every game I compete in. No shit, right? Like, what else is he supposed to say? And I think that the media took that and it just went crazy with it. So someone, real quick, brother, can you grab the charger right there? I forgot to plug that in. So someone over in Washington went to Rivera and said, hey, Mike McCarthy's guaranteeing a victory. And Ron Rivera took that and just went crazy with it. He says, you do that for a couple reasons. One, you want to get in our head. It's in that part right there. Secondly, he's trying to convince his team. He's now made it about him. I think it's a big mistake. Excuse me, sir. And then he comes out today, and I wish I could find this dang on tweet. And he says something along the lines of he had a team meeting with his players. He told the players that this is what coach is saying about you, and this is how they feel, and yada, yada, yada. He's trying to get in your head. Psychological warfare. It sounds like to me, and y'all let me know if I'm wrong here, bro, but it sounds like to me Rivera's trying to pump up his team. It sounds like to me Rivera is trying to tell his squad, hey, look what they're saying, man. We got to go out there and prove it to them. He didn't say any of that. He's not making it seem like anything other than I have confidence in my squad. What is a coach supposed to say, man? What is he supposed to say? Anyway, man, I just think the war of words is more so Ron Rivera talking to a brick wall, and the brick wall being his team. So if it takes Mike McCarthy saying what he said to get you riled up, I guarantee you the game is lost. If you didn't have the energy and the want to and the will to go out there and beat the Cowboys in this week in a division rivalry to get closer to the division championship, and you needed Mike McCarthy to rile you up, you needed Ron Rivera to grasp at straws, the game is over. The game was over before you stepped on the field. And that's just how I feel about that. Reyes says, this literally Ron Rivera, a clown. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? I don't want to disrespect Ron. And I heard somebody, I think, called in the show earlier today, guys, or earlier this week and said, well, Ron Rivera, he can say this and that because he did this and that. What exactly did he do? Huh? If I'm not mistaken, I see my guy, shout out to CFT, Rome in the building. I don't know if he's in the building, but shout out to him. My guy Jay Tuck was in here, though. What's up, bro? I believe Ron Rivera has 3 winning seasons out of the last 11. Is that correct? So what exactly has he done? I constantly kind of hear Ron Rivera's the best head coach in the NFC East. Is he? Okay. We finna find out today, ain't we? We finna find out today because yesterday's price is not today's price, Ron. I think y'all, Washington football politician people have this confidence in themselves because they played Andy Dalton last year. They played a rookie Terrence Steele and a Brandon Knight and Joe Looney and Ben DiNucci and whomever else, right, was out there just playing when the Cowboys were down. This may be the healthiest the Cowboys have been in 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. Not just this season, but last season. And you couldn't ask for a better time to do it on the road against Washington to take hold and grasp of this division. So, hey, talk your talk, Ron. We finna see. Shout out to my guy CFO in the building, Jay Tuck. In the famous words of T.I., he said, if we said it, then we meant it. And what? Let's go Cowboys. I hear you, bro. Let me plug this in, though, so we make sure we don't get disconnected. That would suck. All right, here we go, man. Here we go. Back in the building. So, for those that did not tune in during the week, I'm going to the 3 keys I have. Now, there's more, right? There's more to winning this game, but I'll review our 3 keys. And before I do that, I'll hop back into the chat for a little bit. Jason said, today's price ain't last year's price. Yeah, yesterday's price is not today's price. Just Blaze said, 40 burger, let's go. I'm going to get to the score prediction later, but I feel you. I feel you, Just Blaze. And I actually feel confident. A lot of people I've heard been saying this is going to be a 17-14. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it should be. Now, a win's a win. We're going to take it. But you got your guys back. 4 got something to prove. 19 got something to prove. Kellen got something to prove. McCarthy got something. I'm feeling a little better than the low-scoring game. So I hear you, Just Blaze. I hear you. Who else got something to say here? Lachey said Cowboys are best in the East. What's going on, James? Yes, Frank. You play to win the game, period. Marco says, I still cannot see Washington football team shorthanded without every time reading. Oh, okay. He can't see the WFT without saying WTF. I'm the same way, bro. I'm the same exact way. Washington football field, they don't have an elite offense at all. Defense is going to eat today. They don't. And let's kind of get right into some of our keys to victory. And the first part of keys to victory is early rhythm and flow. What does that mean? That means Dallas has been getting off to a lot of slow starts of late. And I don't mean just first possession, second. First 6 or 5 games of the year, they didn't go 3 and out but one time. And they scored touchdowns in 3 of those 5 opening drives. They have went 3 and out 4 of the last 5 weeks to start this game, start the game, ladies and gentlemen. So I really think they need to get in this early rhythm and flow. And it doesn't always have to end in a touchdown. I would love for it to end in a touchdown. But what I mean by rhythm and flow is I'm starting to be a little suspect about how Kellen Moore opens his first 15. It's very blasé. It leaves questioning, more to be desired. it's kind of basic. I just want to see him kind of get in his bag a little bit early so that they can get in this rhythm and flow. This kind of turn around, hand the ball off in the A-B gap, the first 2 plays and then try to run, or try to throw, not too confident in that. This play action, max protect, send 2 against 8 to open up a game, I'm not really fond of that. So try to get in an early rhythm and flow, and that doesn't necessarily mean taking big shots downfield. It could easily mean, hey, 88, quick screen. Hey, swing pass out to no TP anymore, but maybe Zeke get him out in space. Get the ball into your playmaker's hands quickly. Maybe a quick pass to the tight end. Just start to get in a flow early. You don't want to go 3 and out. You want Washington to have to play catch up. You really want to score a touchdown, but most importantly, if we're taking baby steps, just get in a flow so you can be a confident play caller. Because Broadus said something this morning that had me thinking. And shout out to Brian Broadus, by the way, y'all. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Brian Broadus. Been a good source of mine. I appreciate everything he's done for me for the last couple years. Broadus said something. He said, Kellen Moore is a collector of plays, and he's a play caller. And I said, damn. It kind of reminds me of Marvel. You ever, the collector from MCU in the Marvel Universe? That's kind of what Kellen is. He said he doesn't have a go-to. He doesn't have something he can lean on. It's more so a collective of plays. Then he calls the plays in a certain way. And I'm like, you know what? When you think about a Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or any of the cat over in the Vikings with Denver, Kubiaks, things like that. These guys, even your offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, they have things that they can lean on. Kellen, really not much, really not anything he leans on as a play caller. He kind of just puts some plays together, the guys execute, et cetera, et cetera. So that made me think. So it's even more important for Kellen to get in a rhythm with his plays because there isn't much he can lean on. It's more so, hey, it ain't working, Dak, go make something happen. That's how I feel. Van Der Esch needs to step up, says Kevin. I hope he doesn't play too much. Just says, yes, sir, Sky, you taking the words right out my mouth. Get to the ball or get CD the ball and the rest will fall into place. I feel like we've been talking about this. Maybe it was fresh as well. It might have been you too, Just Blaze. We've been saying get your playmakers the ball early. It's the easiest way to get in the flow. You don't have to be cute. You don't have to try to score 14 points on the first pass of the game. You don't have to try to be Michael Vick against Washington on Monday Night Football, play action to Deshaun Jackson for 80. You don't need to do that. Just get in the flow. All right, second key to the game was to make, is it Taylor Heineke, whatever his name is, win from the pocket. And what I mean by that is they love play action. They love to get him rolling. He's a little scrappy, a little swashbuckling quarterback. They do a lot of window dressing to make things easier for Taylor Heineke because he is what he is. He's an undrafted guy. He's a Rudy type of dude. He's not going to really beat you from the pocket consistently. And I think when you get back a Randy Gregory, you get back a DeMarcus Lawrence, you get back your Tristan, your Neville, I think you have the ability to keep him in the pocket. Randy and DeMarcus Lawrence are very smart pass rushers. They understand if they get too far upfield, he can use his legs. And he has some little Romo to him where he can run around, do some crazy things, escape pressure, and get some first downs and things like that. But see, the difference between, the Raiders and the Cowboys is they have a young lion at the second level now. Huh? They got a young lion. They got a 94 rushing the passer now. Huh? So if he wants to run, I welcome it. But I would love to keep him in the pocket because I don't think he can make a ton of plays from – I mean, you see the interception here. His hand was hit. But he can't make a ton of plays consistently from the pocket. We're on the flip side. I would like to see Dak Prescott run a little bit more. He's making it seems like all his plays from the pocket until they do call a design rollout or play action or what have you. But that was my second one. Keep him in the pocket. Kevin says pressure. I agree with you, brother. Pressure is key. And I think getting pressure up front, getting pressure from the middle, will be key. And that's why Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill will play major factors. And you'll see Dan Quinn do this, y'all. He's going to stand up number 11 over the AB gaps. He's going to stand up 94 over the AB gaps. He's going to have Osa Digizua on the outside. He's going to have DeMarcus Lawrence on the outside. And I cannot wait to see it. Brandon C. says this defensive line combo will hopefully allow our D to not rely on the blitz. That's true. That's a good point. I still do think they need to send some blitzes. I feel like Dan Quinn has sent more blitzes this year, and it's worked for the most part. I question how he did it against the Raiders. I feel like he had a brain fart in that game more often than not. So I'm hoping that he still sends Micah, because remember, Micah is going to play linebacker. So with Micah playing linebacker, only way you can get him to get to quarterback and rush is to blitz. It's a blitz. Jeff says O-line creates holes for Zeke. Yeah, absolutely. Now here's the point, says Reyes, to look out for after this game. We're going to have more information on how to scheme for Murray. Interesting. Kyler Murray, different animal. We'll get to Kyler, but let's just take advantage of what we got in front of us today, and that's this guy here, Tyler Heineke. Come on, get to my keys to victory. Where you go? Here we go. The third key to victory: shut down the run game. As you guys saw in the highlights, it went away there, but the run game is key for Washington. Everything comes off of it. And this isn't one of those situations where we come in every week, you got to stop the run, yada, yada, yada. There's certain teams that do not run the ball, and it's embedded. Their passing game is embedded in it, right? Like if you look at their run game, if you go watch the film, everything comes off of that. Their play action, their deep shots, their no more Logan Thomas, but their plays to Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuels, their revert, everything comes off the run game. Tyler Heine Ho, or whatever his name is, he's best when they have a run game. We can talk about the players taking it away. I'm actually going to put the pressure on another side of the ball. I get it. DeMarcus Lawrence is back. Randy Gregory is back. Micah Parsons is back there. I think they'll do fine. I think they'll take it away. Enough. The problem is they play this East-West game, right? They play this East-West game where it can just hold your linebacker for 1 second, and Micah's all-pro this year. All-pro. I saw Devontae White, was it Devon White, get held up. I saw Levante David get held up. So I've seen Pro Bowl linebackers be susceptible to this style of offense. Best way to take it away: get up on them. Get up on them. And it goes back to the first key to victory: early rhythm and flow. If you force Mr. Heineken to throw the ball, you have a better opportunity. The Cowboys' weakness, per se, this year and during this kind of weird 2-3 stretch has been the run game. The Cowboys have allowed teams to kind of be efficient on the ground, and that's kept games closer, or that's either closed out games, one or the other. So Dallas, if they can get up on the Washington District of Columbia football politician people, then I believe you can take away the run game altogether. Just says, do you guys think that they haven't force-fed Dakota Rain Prescott his stats versus Washington, his confidence and his team's confidence is through the roof? Not sure what you mean by force-fed there, Just, but I know what you're saying. You're saying that Dak has been wildly successful against Washington. Yes, he's 7-1 against them. I think he has something like 16 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the one game he lost, let's just be real, it was a snap infraction, bullcrap penalty that we've never heard. But you're the Cowboys. At this point, we expect to hear penalties that we've never heard ever before in our lives. So did you go out here and say, hey, Dak has been great against them in the past, let him kill it? I wouldn't go that route. I wouldn't say just because he was good against them in years past, last time he played him was 2019, that you take that and you just game plan around it. I think you game plan around Dak in his running game or passing game because that's your strength this week. And to me, their weakness on the other side is their secondary. Go check out the Okoye breakdown if you want to. You got about 20 more minutes to when he joined the show. They're going to play a lot of zone. Landon Collins is back. Maybe they'll switch it up. But they're going to give opportunities for Lamb and Cooper and Schultz and Gallup to catch the ball early and get some yak, or they have to tackle. So if that's the case, as much as we want this run game to succeed, I don't know, folks, that I would come out here and just try to establish the run right off the bat. If you're going to do that, do it in different ways. Get some CD Lamb jet sweeps. Get either Jaquan or whoever, right? Jet sweep. Get some things to the outside, some quick screens. Get some extensions of the run game going, right, to loosen them up. But I think that we should throw early to loosen up the defense and then close these boys out, or not necessarily close them out, but then as they get softened up, then you punch them in the mouth running the ball, because there's still a good run defense up the middle, right? Like, they have those two behemoths in Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. That is their strength. You can elect to run into the teeth of the defense when, if you want to, you can be stubborn. You can be Scott Linehan and be stubborn, right? When you're, in my opinion, liability, no offense to the center, he's one of your weak links, and so is your left guard. And that may be a strong word, but he's the lesser of the players on the front line. And when the lesser of your players are matched up against the strength of their defense, I don't think it's a smart idea to just run into the teeth, unless you open up the game through the air. Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong on that? I'm just saying, I feel like today you got Amari Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Amari Cooper, and it's crazy how things work out. The COVID thing may have helped heal his lingering injuries. He's a little bit fresher than he's been all year because he didn't play for a couple weeks, and he only played 25 snaps last week. His second least snaps of his Cowboys career was last week. The only other game that he played less was against the Jets when he came out. I believe it was the second play of the game. So you get Cooper back, who I think is going to help tremendously in your third down issues. One thing that I did not do, and that's my bad, y'all, is talk about the third down problems this week on the shows. Cowboys have been putrid. They have been terrible. And I think you can really attribute that to the guys that have not been in there over the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season. You get them all back now. So you line up Coop, Gallup, and you line up CD. I just don't think they have enough guys to be able to contend with that down in, down out. You can't double everyone. And if you play zone, this is where it kind of all comes back around, right? If you play zone, all you have to do is block it up front. If the Cowboys can block it up front, and I'm talking about in the passing game, I think Dallas can just march up and down the field on these boys. I watched the Seattle game, and I'll pull it up for y'all if y'all want just a little bit, man. I watched the Seattle game, and there were so many opportunities for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was not on his game in that game, but he did have a couple plays that popped off, big plays to Tyler Lockett, because they play this kind of soft coverage, and they're not really great in man when they do have to go man, and they can kind of get lost. They can get lost in the sauce, but you need to be able to block it up. There's not just a Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf to worry about now. You got about 3 or 4 weapons on the offensive side of the ball for the Cowboys that they have to contend with. So we're going to need McGovern, bring his big boy pants. We're going to need Biotish, bring your big boy pants. I got all the confidence in the world in Zach Martin and Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith. But if they can block it up, as you can see here, there will be opportunities for the Cowboys to hit big plays on this team. And that doesn't mean they have to try to hit these plays every time, but these can be some of those high-low concepts where Dak, if he sees it high, he goes. If not, he has 2 other options underneath. So just kind of keep that in mind when you want this run game to get back on. I don't think you really want to force this run game. I think you want to soften it up early through the pass and then run to close this thing out. All right, let's get back into the chat real quick. Let's see. Mr. Jab said, I really think the football buddies aren't going to be able to score much today. Yeah, they haven't really been scoring a ton over this 4-game win streak. They haven't been giving up a lot of points, but they also haven't been scoring a lot of points. Part of me wants to say, let me chill, because I said that about the Raiders, and they went out and did what they did. Granted, the refs helped them out, but part of me wants to chill on that, but you're absolutely right. They don't score a lot of points, man. Jamion says, pick 6 today. Okay, from Diggs. Okay, I like it. Absolutely like it. All right, guys. For those, again, who are kind of just trickling in here and don't know what's going on, Jesse is out today. He should be back next week. We'll keep you updated on that. It's just me and my guy Nick here hanging out with you guys today, and we'll be here for halftime. We'll be here for the post game, holding it all down. All right. So now I want to get to the final part of the pregame show, and this is where I want you guys to kind of participate a little bit more here. Matchup of the day. Every week there's usually a key matchup in this game. And I want to hear from you guys what your matchup is, and I'll go back and I'll read through it. And then after that, we'll do our predictions. What is your key matchup of the day? For me, it's Micah Parsons versus Antonio Gibson. And here's why. we know the run game is what Washington likes to do. There's no J.D. McKissick, right? So they're going to lean on Antonio Gibson even more. And when you go look at the number of touches that Antonio Gibson has had over this 4-game win streak, I'm going to read them off to you here. 26 touches, 19 touches, 36 touches, 28 touches. So he's getting the ball at an Ezekiel Elliott 2016 type of rate, which means with Micah back at linebacker, he's likely going to have a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of shedding some linemen to get to Antonio Gibson, and they're going to put him out wide. He caught about 7 catches, I think, last week against the Raiders or 2 weeks ago or what have you. So they're going to use him in the pass game as well. So I think that, Parsons matched up against Gibson is the biggest key or the biggest matchup to me, because if you shut him down, I think you really throttle this Washington offense. And no Logan Thomas, y'all. No Logan Thomas. I can't see them scoring more than 17 points today on offense. And that's a high number for me, to be honest with you. I can't see them scoring more than 17 unless their defense is giving them the rock, at the 20-yard line, 30-yard line or something of that nature. So if you get Parsons matched up against Gibson all day and he wins that battle, I think the Cowboys can hold him down. Let's see what you guys think. We got Scary Terry versus Trevin Diggs. We also got a Scary Terry, my guy Reek versus Anthony Brown. So essentially Terry versus the cornerbacks. That's a good one too, and here's why. He is their overwhelmingly favorite target on offense. Overwhelmingly. Over 100 targets. The next closest has like 50-something or 60-something. And I think it's J.D. McKissick. I think it's actually 60-something. Who's out today. So that's a good one. I would also go, if you want to go some sneaky ones, Adam Humphries versus Jordan Lewis. Because we saw in the Vegas game that Renfro gave Lewis a little bit of trouble. Adam Humphries, since that Logan Thomas is out, he's going to be the guy that they look for on these third downs. So that's another one here. Gregory and D-Law, Mr. Jab says, versus the tackles. And these are backup tackles, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they've played decent this year, but this is DeMarcus Lawrence, man. Max Crosby got some pressure on them last week. In fact, one of their tackles, I think, had one of their worst games pressure-wise last week against Max Crosby. Flo says Connor and Tyler versus Allen and Payne. Flo, that honestly, Parsons and Gibson is definitely a great one, but Connor and Tyler versus Allen and Payne might decide the Cowboys' fate offensively. They might decide the Cowboys' fate offensively. I've not been impressed with Connor McGovern. I think they need to put back Connor Williams in the game. He hasn't been good at the second level. The combo blocks, my guy Jay Tuck did a great job showing you. He's not picking those up well. It's just been a struggle. It's just been a struggle for Connor McGovern. And if he struggles today, it could get that killed. It can get the running game shut down again. And there's no more excuses to put Williams back in. Who else we got here, guys? I'm trying to get through some of these here. Marco says, absolutely agree with you. Micah would demolish Gibson. There isn't a linebacker even close to Micah in the league. Oh, I like that. Bama Boys versus Zach Martin, says Jacob. Yeah, obviously Zach is going to be an important. I just think Zach will hold his own. Zach is Zach, right? Washington not shutting down nothing over here. I hear that. Let's see. Any more Micah versus Gibson? Any Schultz versus their linebackers or safety? Another good one, Jamion. That's a good sneaky one because with this zone, right, they're going to give you those seam routes with the tight end. Just got to fit it there. And we talked about this week seeing Cam Newton hit some of those seam routes to Tremble, to DJ Moore, to Christian McCaffrey. So that kind of has to be on point, and he's been on point with these tight window throws, one of the best in the league this year. He'll probably have to complete a couple of these tight window throws up the seam. So, yeah, definitely look for that. All right, let's get into it, man. Predictions today. I already seen a bunch of them in here. I seen a ton of 40 burgers. I seen some 50 burgers. I see Marco right here says 42-13. I like it. Let's put some music on here while we talk about these predictions. CJ says Heine under 200 yards passing. And your predictions can be a bold prediction. It doesn't have to be a score. It doesn't necessarily have to be a score. Let's see here. We got 31-20, says Jamion. 31-20. My guy in the building, Cowboys Network, Sosa, I see you. He said, Skywalker is Han's Solo today. I like that one. Han Solo. True Blue, 38-21. Fresh Fade, 34-13. Chuck, 44-17. Mr. 2000, 40-10. I love these scores. 37-16 says C. 31-17 says Lassay. Hooker gets a pick 6. Hooker hasn't got an interception. He's the only one. I'm trying to think here. He's the only main character in the DB backfield here that doesn't have an interception. My guy, CD Piglet, 41-23. Reek says 24-10. It's a tough one. It's a tough game. 42-20 says Jason. 21-0 past the stick, says Denzel. Let's be honest. 33-13 says Jimmy. 31-20, TC915. Y'all giving me something to think about. My brother says 34-17. Just Blaze, 41-17. I'm going to go with you, bro. I'm feeling this game. A lot of people have been, not you guys, but people in Dallas have been saying it's going to be an ugly game and all these things like that. I'm not feeling that in my soul today. I'm not feeling that in my soul. I'm feeling the Cowboys offense actually finding its swagger and its rhythm today. Here, 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern in about 10 minutes. I'm feeling them getting it together. For the first time since, I don't even know what, Atlanta. The first time since Atlanta, you have your 3 big guys back on offense at wide receiver. You have practices, right? They're practicing together. Your offensive line coach is back. Your head coach is back in the building. And he guaranteed, as they like to say, a victory. So I feel like this offense is going to come out and prove to everyone we are what you thought we were in the first 6 games. And they're going to put up a lot of points here. I got 37-17 Cowboys. All right? That is my score prediction, 37-17. I'm with it. Jeff said Parsons gets a pick 6 today. If he gets a pick 6, just stamp it. Defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year. All right, guys, we are going to head out. I appreciate you guys joining me. Make sure you come back. Halftime show, Cowboy Game Day Live, halftime show. I will be here. We'll talk about what we've seen during halftime. And then after that, post-game show. Come on back. We're going to have some fun. I think we're going to have some fun. If we do, I got the shades. I got the shades over here. I ain't going to put them on yet. But if we get that victory, put the clear eye views on. Put the clear eye views on. All right, man. See y'all at halftime. That is my time. Cowboy Game Day Live pregame show at Texas Live, Revolver Brewery. I'm out. Peace.